I'm Dr. David Bernstein. Welcome back to our series, 25 Tips for Working with Modes. Now, in the last several videos, we've been exploring patterns in people's lives that involve dysfunctional modes. And last time, we introduced the concept of feeding the modes. And this means that in moments when we're triggered, when our modes are triggered, that we act as if our modes are real. We confuse our perceptions for reality, and then we unconsciously act in ways that perpetuate them. And we talked about the fact that if you want to go and change those kinds of long-term patterns, that you need to bring some awareness to the present moment when your modes are triggered, so that you can exercise healthier choices. And that brings us to the topic of today's video, bring it. Bring some mindful awareness to your modes. Now, I wanted to start with a quote that I really love by Viktor Frankl from his book, Man's Search for Meaning. And Frankl said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is the power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Now, I find this to be a very powerful message. And the message is, yes, it is true that in many ways, our actions, even our thoughts and feelings, are profoundly affected by our environment. More so, in fact, I think that we would even like to imagine. And that certainly is true for modes that have been reinforced maybe, hundreds of times or more in our lives. And yet, what Frankl is saying is that it is possible to break those patterns if we can find that space between stimulus and response. And I see this as a space within ourselves. And so, bringing mindful awareness to our experience, as I see it, means creating some kind of space, a brief moment of self-awareness where we can make a choice. And that choice is between doing things to perpetuate our modes, in other words, feeding the modes, or feeding the healthy adult mode, doing something to strengthen our healthy adult mode. So, how does that work? Well, the first thing that we need to do is when our modes are triggered, we need to be able to ask ourselves, am I in a mode? And here you see somebody with virtual reality glasses. And, when our modes are triggered, it's kind of like having virtual reality glasses on. It seems as though our modes are real, how, we confuse our perceptions for reality. And so what we need to do in such moments is to ask ourselves, am I in a mode? Well, how are you going to do that? Well, again, what we need to do is bring some mindful awareness to our modes. And mindfulness is defined as bringing awareness to our present experience, intentionally and without judging. Okay, so it really means just, being aware in any given moment of a whole variety of different kinds of things. For example, we can become aware simply of our breathing. Our breathing is our most, basic signal that we're alive. Our in-breaths and our out-breaths. We can become aware of our body, our bodily sensations. We can become aware of our thoughts, our emotions, and we can become aware of our modes. So, if we can bring a little mindful awareness to our experience, particularly at those moments when we're emotionally triggered, then perhaps we can slow things down a little. Rather than reacting to our modes, we can just simply allow ourselves to embrace them, to accept them in the present moment, and in that way expand that space within ourselves, that space in which we can exercise free choice. Now, I'd like to give you a little bit of a feeling for what this process is like. And so what I'm going to propose is that we do something experiential here, which is that I'm going to lead you through a short mindfulness meditation. And this is going to be no more than 5 minutes. So depending on where you are, I suggest that you may want to pause this video for a second and close the door and just settle yourself in some comfortable place. Now, once you've done that, I'd like to ask you to close your eyes, or if you'd rather, just simply, focus on some kind of fixed point in front of you. And what I'd like you to do first is just to notice your breathing. Just notice your in-breaths and your out-breaths. And just pay attention to the gentle rising and falling of your abdomen. You don't need to change your breathing in any way. Just notice your breathing and let it be. And now turn your attention to any sounds around you. They could be sounds coming from the room that you're in or from outside of the room. They could even be sounds coming from inside your body, like you're breathing. Some of those sounds may be pleasant ones, some unpleasant. And just notice those sounds, whatever they may be. And next, turn your attention to sensations in your body. Just notice any sensations of sitting on your chair, having your feet on the ground, sensations of temperature on your skin, warmth or cold, any discomfort or tension or pain you may be feeling. Just whatever those sensations are, just notice them. Just take a couple of minutes to just simply allow those sensations to be. And now turn your attention to your emotions. What are you feeling right now? Maybe you're experiencing pleasant emotions or unpleasant emotions. Whatever those emotions are, just let them be. And notice any physical sensations that are associated with those emotions. Where in your body do you feel them? Just notice any physical sensations that are connected to your emotions and let them be. And now focus your attention on your thoughts, on the steady stream of thoughts running through your head. What are you thinking about now? We have all kinds of thoughts. Positive thoughts, negative thoughts, images running through our minds, conversations, plans. Whatever you're thinking about, just notice it. Just allow those thoughts to be. And now, notice if you experienced any modes during this exercise. They can be child modes, modes that are connected to feelings of vulnerability or anger or impulsivity. Maybe they're self-critical or demanding modes, modes that are judging you, putting demands on you. Maybe they're bodyguard modes, modes that are protecting you by making distance and avoiding, or by taking the one-up position that is overcompensating, or taking the one-down position, surrendering. Or maybe you're experiencing some healthy modes, like a healthy adult mode. A healthy adult mode that is self-reflective and interested. Or perhaps a happy child mode that is playful and joyful. Whatever modes you're experiencing, just allow them to be. They're a part of you, and they have the right to be there. And if you're needing something right now, just allow your healthy adult mode to give it to you. Allow your healthy adult mode to be there for you right now in this present moment. What are you needing from your healthy adult mode? Are you needing support, comfort, or reassurance, self-compassion? Whatever you're needing, just give it to yourself right now. And now, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Now take a few moments and just simply answer the question, what did you notice during this exercise? If you want to, you can even pause this recording and write it down. What are the thoughts and feelings, bodily sensations, and other things that you may have noticed? And what are any modes that you noticed? And what did you need from your healthy adult mode? Now, this is a short demonstration, but for many people it can really, be an eye-opener. Oftentimes in the rush of the day, we don't really stop and take a moment to just simply be with ourselves and think about how powerful it could be if we can bring this kind of mindful attention to those moments when we're triggered. And then instead of reacting from our modes, we could stop and just simply be aware of them and ask ourselves the question, is this real? Or is this just my mode? And in doing so, creating some space within ourselves. And that space represents freedom of choice. The ability to exercise our free choice. Do we want to give into our modes, that is, feed our modes? Or do we want to do something different, even something small, in some way exercise our healthy adult mode? Okay. Now, next time, we're going to go on with the topic of positive psychology, and we're going to start to talk about how we can find and develop strengths in ourselves. And that'll be the topic for next week's video, Find It. And finally, I'd like to invite you to come to our website, www.imodes.com, and take a look at our image-based therapy tools. Have a great week and see you next time.